of Madrid this hour. People, of course, not only a partying going on, people looking from verandas, from rooftops to see their heroes. They are quite rightly receiving a hero's welcome in Madrid after beating Argentina 1-0 at extra time. Argentina going down to 10 men after receiving, of course, one of the players receiving a red card, denying, of course, considered one of the greatest ever, Lionel Messi, back-to-back titles on what will most likely will be his final World Cup appearance. But you are seeing there in Madrid colours, yellow and red, as they celebrate La Roja. We'll have much more on their celebration a bit later in the show. Very well deserved indeed. I do want to leave the World Cup and Spain for just a moment and turn our attention to the Gulf, because the conflict between the US and Iran is moving closer to exploding into an all-out regional war. US President Donald Trump threatened retaliation for the deaths of 3 American service members killed over the weekend. And this is what he posted: every time Iran kills an American soldier, they will pay for that killing many times over. Now, the two sides exchanged yet another round of fresh strikes, with Tehran attacking Jordan, Bahrain and Kuwait. On the heels of an Iranian attack on Saturday, the Kuwaiti military says intercepted hostile targets twice today. Badr al-Saif is a professor of history at Kuwait University. He's also associate fellow at Chatham House, a well-known face on the show. Badr, great to have you back on the show. Look, we have seen, as we were just outlining in there, Kuwait, Bahrain, Jordan, among the regional countries being targeted in this latest round of Iranian retaliation. Just speak to this moment, first of all, and what is being felt across the region, because in the last few hours we have heard from the US president saying that they plan to send additional F-16s and F-35 fighter jets and aerial refueling tankers to the Middle East. What does this signal to you?
Isa, daily attacks for the past week on various Gulf states from Iran and continuous jabs between Iran and the US. The escalation is felt gradually on the ground. Only today, actually, we had a third attack a few hours ago on top of the earlier 2 that you reported on. And what happened today and yesterday is slightly different from previous attacks because it came in the daytime. And that speaks to the vastness of this conflict and the different ways in which they can go ahead and escalate as they move forward. Now, it's tempting to say that we're back to the height of conflict, the 40 days of war that we had prior to the supposed ceasefire. But let me tell you, the daily averages, the missiles, the drone attacks have increased in scope on Kuwait, on Bahrain, and on Jordan, as much as they have also from the other side towards Iran. So I think we need to consider all of this together. I know that the mediators in other countries are now actively working behind the scenes to get the two countries together, or to at least pause so that we can have some breathing space to move on to a more of a negotiated settlement. But everything is up in the air. We've yet to see how that unfolds.
Yeah, and I can only imagine, Badr, just the nervousness and the anxiety that this is causing. I remember the last time you and I spoke, I think it was before the Memorandum of Understanding, which doesn't seem to be longer existing, was written. You said, and correct me if I'm wrong if you remember this, you said the Gulf countries ought to be leading their own diplomacy. As the conflict potentially continues to expand here, are you seeing individual countries reaching out? Are you seeing diplomacy on that side, or they're waiting for United States to lead a diplomatic front with Pakistan as mediators?
Look, yes and no. We certainly urgently need a new game plan to safeguard our countries in the Gulf.
Yeah.
And we definitely shouldn't count on the US to do our bidding. We should go and talk directly to Iran. Some of the Gulf countries have been doing that already. And it seems that this has been sparing them the worst of the conflict so far. And I think this is important because, look, the claims and the counterclaims that are coming through as they are attacking Kuwait and Bahrain, for example, in Jordan, is that there are attacks coming from our lands towards them. Those are claims that we have denied, or that the governments of the region have denied vehemently. So I think both sides need to lay out their cards and they need to talk to Iran to understand how we can deal with the region moving forward. I think the other issue that's been holding up the talks between Kuwait and Iran in particular is that the Iranians have sent across IRGC operatives last month. What the Kuwaiti authorities have spoken about as IRGC operatives, the other side claims otherwise. But I think holding them has been bringing the ire of Iran towards Kuwait. So those are certainly bargaining chips that could be used in our coming discussions with Iran. Look, at the end of the day, we're interconnected. Geography has its limits. In this case, the cursive geography is very evident. We're very next to each other. Kuwait is only 50 miles away by sea from Iran, and we're flat spaces. So it's very easy to come about and attack the country. We're also surrounded by Iraq, which unfortunately is home to various networks and militias that are supportive of Iran's war efforts. So that only increases the stress points on Kuwait. And that's why we need to have that holistic approach towards the Iran file, looking at the various cards that we can bring to the table to discuss the matters with them directly.
Very briefly, Bad, I mean, you mentioned Kuwait. We've seen, of course, it talks about Iraq. But why Jordan? I mean, it's east of Israel, west of Iraq. Why target Jordan? Because it's further to Iran than other targets in the Gulf. What do you make of that?
Look, I make two things. First, they'll extend the same claim that there are U.S. military assets attacking them from Jordan. So that's one. But I think by Iran attacking Jordan, as it is attacking Kuwait, it's sending signals to the neighbors. So with the Kuwait attacks, it's sending signals to the other Gulf states, and it's foreshadowing what's to come in the day after, that they are here, they're there to stand, and they will stand for their rights no matter what, and they will use all measures to do that. In terms of Jordan, I think they're sending signals to Israel that don't think that you're off the hook. Jordan is next to you, we're attacking it. You saw how the Aqaba attack today caused some alarms in Israel. And I think it's also sending that message towards that part of the world, and that we're not only seeing attacks to nearby sites like the Gulf states, but that they can extend beyond that.
Foreshadowing what is to come. Badr, always great to get your analysis. Thank you very much indeed. Badr Al-Saif there from Kuwait City. Thank you. We're going to take a short break, but we will see you on the other side.